Click the links to your channel here over at Subscribestar. I have a mailbox. You want to mail me some comics. So the Marvels and the fabulous emancipation of one Brie Larson or something like that. I had said that if you will pay for the ticket and the popcorn, I'll go watch and review a movie. I can literally walk to the theater. And maybe this would kind of be a good one to start with because I think I'd be alone in the theater. Which I guess is good for all the Woofloo stuff if people are still worried about this. Because this is going to be as bad as the first one, but in a more brown Barbie girl power type of way. And I think that's what they're hoping to cash in on, that big feminine energy that's going on with the absolute stellar hit that is the Barbie movie that probably surprised a lot of people. This movie has Brie Larson, who, to her credit, does have a great set of milkers, but she's not pretty. She's just kind of too masculine. She has that angular face. Maybe that's not exactly fair. It might be better to say that so far in this role, the Captain Marvel role, they play her down. They play down her sex appeal. They put her in a costume that doesn't show off her jugs to their best advantage. They don't want the character to have sex appeal because otherwise you could do like a Scarlett Johansson costume where I think they like unzip the top of the costume to give it like a low cut look. And it's like there's no reason you can't do that. Give it like a 1970s type of costume. She's a superhero. She's like a space god. She could wear a bikini if she wants. There's no reason not to make this movie you want. Make make your whatever your feminist girl power thing, but like put her in a low cut dress and a tight where it's supposed to be tight. Like make it. Why wouldn't you make it sexy so like everyone can enjoy the movie? All that feminist stuff. It's like don't carry it too far. Anyway, so no offense, the other two sidekick chicks, it kind of feels like they're the token hires. I mean they're ugly, like Hollywood ugly. They're just kind of invisible ugly, like just people you see every day. They don't seem like they would fit in Hollywood. And Brie Larson comes across as a mid butterface because physically she's in great shape. She exercises like crazy, does all these kind of crazy handstands and whatnot, but she does need a bag over her face. Then you could just take a Sharpie and draw a smile on it. Plus, she also acts like a piece of redwood. She's just kind of there in the background, being a plank of wood. Then she speaks, and you realize, oh, whoa, you're in this movie. She goes, yeah, I'm the star of the movie. Oh, have you been here the whole time? So the movie is the mid soccer mom and the two POC sidekicks who are gonna be stunning and brave and marginalized and oppressed and speak truth to power about furry otherkin rights right now and rage for the machine. And disenfranchised, marginalized, systematically, something like that. They might do some vagina artwork together because feminists are endlessly fascinated by their snatchel region. But unfortunately for the Chad Hugo Boss haters on YouTube, the Twitter is obsessed with Yellow Flash, Nerdrotic, the Ryan Cannell, Geeks and Gamers, Odin's movie blog. You see these names come up on YouTube all the time, and they hate these Twitter kids, these soy people. They hate that these guys talk about movies that are dumb. They don't love the movies. The Twitter kids don't love the movies that these channels are talking about. They hate that these guys go on social media to criticize them. You think like that's kind of weird because it's a step removed. Like the Nerdrotic channels they're talking about the movies, and they suck. Don't get me wrong. Like 99% of everything that's coming out now is just horrible. But it's like and the thing is, people talking about movies are more entertaining than the movies themselves now. But they're providing a service to people, and they're getting paid for it, but they're entertaining. But the people talking about them and complaining about them get nothing from their complaints other than dopamine hits on Twitter. But they're not monetizing it. Where those big YouTubers is like that's their job for them, and people complaining about something is so many steps removed from it, and it's not monetized. I look at them and I'm like, why don't you these Twitter haters like why don't you just get on social media and talk about what you love about these movies? And to them, that doesn't make sense. They want to talk about people hating these movies instead of talking about what they love about these movies. Because when it comes down to it, I don't think they love a whole bunch about these movies because they're not good movies. Fundamentally, it's very rare that you see you see something come out that is really a runaway. It's something that movies make a lot of money. Sometimes they make a lot of money, but you look at it and you're like, is it a good movie? No, not really. But it was the distraction from this, this agony of everyday life, I guess. But so for the I think this movie is going to be a big hit. It's possible. It's possible because it's riding on the tail of that Barbie energy, and there's this army of mid chicks that love Brie Larson, and then there's a bunch of hot chicks who are not threatened by her. So I hate to say this, but it's entirely possible that this movie gets to $1 billion, which will be the second. Well, I mean, Brie Larson's been in actually quite a few $1 billion movies because the Avengers, but she was just a part of that, right? She wasn't in much. She was in the last one, I think, but the other movie she did $1 billion because it was between the two biggest movies in film history. And so if this movie hits $1 billion, it's going to be, holy cow! If this and Barbie, the $1 billion girl power films, you're going to get so much of this stuff is going to be insufferable. Anyway, so this director is claiming that her film sets itself apart from the MCU by being wacky and silly. That's not a good sign because, I mean, when women think they're being wacky and silly, it's just kind of cringe. But it's not going to matter because the audience will be over 60% women and 40% soy boys and Coomer consumers who just love their soy slop and their propaganda. There's going to be a lot of Matt Jarbo types at the theater. It's really amazing how many of those guys actually exist or why they exist. Why do they accept being such pussies? I mean, why do they just... The thing is, I look at all these soy boy types and I go, if they ate less and they exercise, they'd stop being soy boys and they wouldn't be left wingers anymore. That's why the left is terrified of their guys exercising, their people exercising. They call it I don't know, they call it body shaming or something. So they're trying to push people to just be as fat as possible. I guess it's the sunk cost investment thing. And I think maybe at their core, they know deep down, if they really got in shape and just simply ate less and started moving, they probably wouldn't be left-wingers anymore. It's weird how there's that correlation. Anyway, so this movie obviously looks stupid to me, but it's not made for me because I don't have a vagina. One of the descriptions in this movie is the characters swap spirits into each other's bodies. That sounds really stupid. Well, I mean, that sounds like 80s TV show when you're desperate for a gimmick. That kind of stupid. While some of the Marvel stuff did have humor, Guardians of the Galaxy had humor, it had male energy humor, which is funny. But female energy humor is just kind of annoying because women aren't funny. Even the occasional funny woman isn't funny, not at her core, because it's more like she's just repeating funny lines like a robot who's mimicking a human. Men are funny at their core because they're pondering the mysteries of the universe and probably the tragedy that they'll never understand it, but women just don't think like that. Women are trying to be funny because they're trying to do what funny people do. Like they saw what a wacky, funny chick on TV did, probably had a male writer who wrote those lines for her. So they're trying to do that kind of humor. So it just a lot of it is derivative. It just doesn't work, which is, if they're legitimately trying to do that in this, imagine a funny scene between these two actors, Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel, whatever their real names are. Brie Larson, it's who's this other sidekick? Nobody cares. Sidekick 1. That's what their names on the outline should be. Sidekick 1 and Sidekick 2. Because that's kind of who they are. Yeah, the movie doesn't star anyone, but if it gets to $1 billion, then this is going to be the year of the girl power flick. Oh my God, this is going to cause a revitalization in Hollywood. You're going to have more girl power endlessly. It could hit $1 billion. So take that, you Chad Nazis on YouTube. It's it doesn't matter to the nerdrotic types, the movie reviewer types, if the movie hits $1 billion or not, they still talk about these movies and they're still getting the revenue from their videos. It doesn't matter either. I really don't it's the anti-Comicsgate energy. It's the same kind of Phantom Menace anti-Comicsgate people. They're on Twitter and I go, why don't you try? I'm not talking to them because they block you at all. They can't take any diversity of thought, but they spend their days doing this stuff and it's you don't really understand that the other side is monetizing it. You're just helping them. Like if these soy boys write something really stupid online, you can post a clip of it and talk about it. And these channels, they're making thousands of dollars for these videos, and these soy boys are helping them do it. And at the same time, they're defending these billion-dollar companies. That blows my mind too. It's like, you ever think you're the useful idiots? You're helping these guys in their job. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. You're in the subscribe star if you want to get a mailbox. You want to send me some comics or some cool pocket knives. Or if you want me to see this movie, you can pay for the movie and popcorn or any movie, and I'll go see it and give it a review. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys all next episode.